Hey guys, Vince from SUB-CLE here. Today I'm inviting you into my kitchen and I'm making chicken paprikash. This is a dish that I grew up with. My mother made great chicken paprikash growing up in Cleveland. You can't avoid it. It's a Cleveland staple. I've had many dinner parties. People love this dish. And apparently they like the way I make it. So I'm gonna make this video showing you how I make it. It's not necessarily an instructional video, but you can probably take some instruction from it. I also developed a paprikash drink inspired by this dish, obviously. I'm going to put that in the link below. But yeah, this is how I do chicken paprikash. I hope you guys enjoy.
Alright, I'm going to start out with some yellow and red peppers. So I'm going to slice up this yellow pepper. I don't like green peppers. I mean, they're okay. Stuffed peppers are good. But as far as using it for something like this, I think they're just too strong of a flavor. They overtake everything. But these yellow and red peppers, I mean, they have a nice sweetness to them, a nice flavor. I really like it. I think it's perfect for this dish. Then I'm going to use a white onion. I almost exclusively use white onions. You know, I'll use red onions for maybe a salad or something, you know. I've made tacos, I guess, with some red onions before. Yeah, I'm just going to dice everything up and throw it into that bowl back there. I'm going to take a whole clove of garlic, or a whole bulb, I should say. I see recipes that say, you know, a couple cloves. I think that's ridiculous. I don't know if it's just the Italian in me coming out, but this is a tedious part of the job, you know. But you just smash the garlic and it comes right out, you know. A little time consuming, but I think it's therapeutic. I'll cook sometimes, and I'm not even hungry. I just enjoy, you know, getting lost in it. You know, it's like drawing or painting or playing music or something like that. And that's the habanero pepper. You can leave this out. I mean, it really does make it spicy, along with the hot Hungarian paprika, which is spicy. I leave the seeds in too, I know. And I'm cutting it without gloves or anything, you know. I just gotta keep in mind not to touch any critical parts of my body. Yeah, I'm gonna liberally salt and pepper this chicken, and I'm gonna fry it. So I use canola oil just because, you know, it fries a little bit better, but I'm gonna throw in some olive oil. This isn't extra virgin olive oil. You know, I only use that stuff for like maybe salads and stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna put a little bit of that in the pan, and then I'm gonna fry this chicken up. And it's drums and thighs, you know, you can use breasts, you know, you can use whatever. It depends on my audience, you know. Like if I'm making it for myself, I'm doing it this way. It just adds a lot more flavor. You can render that fat down and then incorporate that into your roux. And it's just a better flavor. A lot of times if you know, because I usually make this in large quantities, you know, for dinner parties, like 12 and whatnot, and you know, you get a lot of it. So then I have to scrape out the pan, you know, after every time. But this is nice. See how that's golden like that? And that, yeah, and all that fat's rendering down in there, and that oil, and getting all the nice, you know, the salt and pepper in there, of course, add in with the flavor of the chicken fat. It's really gonna. This is a good base for a dish, you know. So then I'm gonna take the chicken out of there, you know. I like crispy chicken, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, you know, I don't like rubbery, fat skin, you know. So I'm just gonna throw this, you know, right. Look at all that good stuff in the bottom of the pan there. So I'm just gonna throw this in the oven. You can, you know, depending on, you know, what your time frame is, 350. I like 200, and I leave it in there for a couple hours. So now I'm going to make the roux now. So this is equal parts butter and flour, you know. I find it easier to do it this way because I noticed in the past, like, if, you know, sometimes the flour will clump up in the pan. So I just like to, you know, get it all going I just love mixing bowls. You know, even when something calls for a mixer, I use my hands anyway. But look at that. So that's not going to clump up on you. So yeah, you throw that in the pan, and now we're making a roux. So you just fry that up for a little bit. We're not making a dark roux. You know, I do like dark roux, but I want the paprika to stand out. So I threw the onions and peppers in there. I salt and pepper that. And just constantly maintaining it, you know, because this is a pretty high heat, so I don't want anything sticking there. So now I'm going to throw in the garlic, because otherwise that's going to burn if you put it in with everything else. And the garlic, and then here comes the heat, the habanero pepper. Like I said, you don't have to put that in there, but you know, if I'm making something, it's going to have a little bit of heat to it. So. Yeah, just mix that up, keep it going. You know, you want to cook that flour in that roux. You know, you don't want raw flour taste. I mean, and you just want to, you know, you don't want to overtake the paprika. Yeah, I've done that before. I've made a darker roux. It tastes like a dark roux. It doesn't taste like paprika, you know? So not too much. So here comes the magic, you know. Here's the main guy right here. This is the paprika. So I almost never measure this. I'm doing this just for you guys. So I figured I'm just gonna put it in a tablespoon at a time, and I found that 3 tablespoons seemed to be sufficient. You can go 4. Why not? It's chicken paprikash. I mean, that's what's great about this dish. It's like, that's almost the only spice right there, that hot Hungarian paprika. You know, it's all about that. You know, that's what this dish is. It's all about that flavor. So I'm just gonna stir that up, and you know, look at that going real nice. You know, that's cool. So I'm just gonna put some stock. I happen to have chicken bone broth, so I put that in there. I only used half the peppers and onions that I cut up too, just in case you're wondering. And then, because I'm so used to making it for so many people, and then I used half of that container of bone broth, and just let this boil. You know, get it going real good. We're gonna cover that. We're gonna let it sit. Okay. So meantime, we're gonna make the spaetzle. So that's the flour. You get some salt and pepper. And then I like to use Chinese 5-spice. You can use clove. You can use nothing at all. Cinnamon, whatever. 2 eggs, 1/4 cup of milk. You want to incorporate it a little bit at a time, you know, as it goes. Just, you know, a little bit, you know, and then it almost seems like it's not going to work out. And then I promise you, look at this. It just slowly turns into a nice doughy battery dough, you know, whatever you want to call it. And then that's how we're going to make the spaetzle right there. I like the Chinese 5-spice, you know, it's my own little touch. Put some salt and water there. And then this is a concoction I made. You know, it's obviously a slotted spatula, but I found that the holes are perfect. And look at that. I mean, it makes the perfect spaetzle. So it's just, yeah, I have it rigged up like over on the other pot, if you could see it in the back, you know. So whatever, yeah, it works. It's perfect. I've used spaetzle makers that don't work as good, so I don't know. This is the way I do it. I'm sure you could find your own way. So I'm going to take that spaetzle all out of there, and then I'm going to I'm gonna butter this spaetzle, you know, because we're gonna fry it right before we serve it. So I found that this is a good way to just incorporate the butter while it's warm. Just let the butter melt in there, and then we're gonna take that spaetzle and fry it up. I got a cast iron skillet. I love that thing. It's like 99% of what I use to cook. And then yeah, just let that spaetzle. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. I'm gonna plate it right now. So that spaetzle goes down first. You can see the spice in there. It's real floral too. It's nice. It's a nice like complement to the sauce that's gonna go on top of this. So, and then here's the chicken drum and the chicken thigh. You know, just throw that down there. It's real crispy. You know, and it's just pour that sauce all over there. Look at that. Look at the red and the yellow peppers. Little pieces of garlic. I mean, that is so tasty. You could put sour cream in there right before this step. Just mix in some sour cream. I've done that many times. It's fairly common. Just depends on your taste. Look at that. Look at how tender that chicken is. It's perfect. Crispy, tender. Got that sauce. Real rich. Paprika. Spicy. That's how chicken paprikash is done. That's how I do it.
Well, there it was. That's how I make chicken paprikash. I understand everybody probably has their own recipe that they grew up with, or their moms or grandmothers or whatever. I'd love to hear about it. You can comment below. But that's how I do it. You don't have to make it as spicy if you're taking some instruction from this video. But yeah, everyone, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.